Your mind is the most powerful tool you'll ever own. Yet most people never push it to its full potential. Every so-called limit you've accepted was built by habit, comfort, or fear, not reality. This audiobook will challenge you to see your brain not as a cage but as a key. Here you'll learn how to strengthen focus, sharpen resilience, and unlock mental abilities that make the impossible possible. What lies ahead is not fantasy. It's the unclaimed strength already inside you, waiting to be trained. The human mind is not bound by the walls we imagine around it. Barriers exist, but many of them are illusions born from fear, doubt, or conditioning. To move beyond them, you must first recognize that the prison is not outside, it is within. A prepared mind has the power to see past these invisible fences. Barriers come in many forms: the fear of failure, the weight of others' opinions, the comfort of routine. Each one whispers limits into your thoughts. The strategist refuses to accept these whispers as truth. They challenge them, question them, and break them down into dust. The mind becomes powerful the moment it refuses to bow to fear. Fear magnifies small obstacles into towering walls. But when you face it, the wall reveals cracks. Step closer, and you find it was never as strong as you believed. Courage is the key to passage. Imagination helps dismantle barriers. When you picture yourself moving beyond limits, you give your brain permission to seek solutions. What you imagine often becomes what you create. Those who cannot imagine freedom cannot achieve it. Many barriers are inherited, not chosen. Families, cultures, and systems hand down beliefs about what is possible or realistic. The mind beyond barriers questions those inherited rules. It asks, who decided this was impossible, and why should I believe them? Discipline is the bridge from thought to action. Breaking barriers requires more than bold ideas. It requires consistent steps forward. The disciplined mind chips away at obstacles daily until the impossible becomes ordinary. Every barrier broken builds resilience. The first one is the hardest. But once you realize you can cross one wall, you begin to see that others can also be crossed. Confidence grows with each victory, transforming doubt into momentum. The strategist understands that barriers often guard treasures. Behind discomfort lies growth. Behind fear lies strength. The very presence of resistance signals that something valuable waits on the other side. Obstacles are invitations, not warnings. Barriers also reveal who you are. Do you retreat, or do you rise? Each challenge becomes a mirror reflecting your courage, discipline, and will. The mind beyond barriers is not defined by conditions, but by choices made in the face of them. Flexibility strengthens barrier breaking. Some walls crumble under pressure. Others require you to find another way around. Adaptability allows you to move forward, even when the direct path seems blocked. A rigid mind breaks, but a flexible one bends and passes through. The greatest barriers are often invisible. They are not locked doors, but hidden beliefs. I'm not good enough. It's too late for me. Success is for others. These thoughts are cages disguised as truth. Awareness exposes them. Courage destroys them. Growth lives outside the boundary. To reach it, you must be willing to step into discomfort, to walk through uncertainty. The mind beyond barriers understands that progress never comes from safety. It is earned through boldness. The mind beyond barriers also inspires others. When one person breaks through limits, they light the path for those behind them. What once seemed impossible becomes a new standard. One brave act can rewrite what a whole community believes is achievable. Freedom is the ultimate reward. Beyond the barriers lies not just achievement, but clarity. You realize that the walls were never stronger than your will. Freedom is not given. It is claimed by those who refuse to stay contained. Your mind is the architect of both barriers and breakthroughs. The choice is yours. Accept the walls or rise beyond them. The mind that dares to step past fear, doubt, and comfort becomes unstoppable. Every human mind holds hidden potential, like gears lying dormant in a machine. Most people never discover them, because comfort keeps them turning only at the surface level, but the strategist knows there is always another gear within, one that can only be found when pressure demands it. Unlocking this gear requires struggle. When you push your limits, when your body or mind screams for rest, that is when the hidden gear reveals itself. It is not found in ease, but in resistance. The more you stretch past comfort, the closer you get to that untapped strength. The hidden gear thrives on resilience. When setbacks appear, most retreat, believing they've reached their limit. But those who endure discover new reserves of energy and clarity. What once seemed like the end becomes a beginning into deeper power. Discipline acts as the key. The hidden gear will not reveal itself to the lazy or inconsistent. Only daily effort, even when you don't feel like it, trains the mind to break past its artificial ceilings. Consistency slowly turns the lock. Fear often blocks the gear. Doubt whispers that you cannot go further, that you'll fail if you try. But fear is only a guard at the gate. The moment you challenge it, you find that the gate was never locked. The path forward was always open. Pain is a signpost. Mental or physical discomfort is not the enemy. It is a signal that you are approaching the hidden gear. The strategist does not run from this pain, but studies it, uses it, and allows it to sharpen their endurance. Unlocking requires vision. If you cannot see yourself operating at a higher level, you will never reach it. Visualizing success prepares the mind to believe, and belief fuels action. The hidden gear is revealed through the union of vision and persistence. Moments of crisis often trigger the gear. In emergencies, people act with strength they never imagined. This proves that the ability already exists. It simply waits for the right conditions. The strategist learns to summon it without waiting for crisis. The hidden gear is not only about endurance, it is about clarity. When pushed beyond limits, distractions fade. The mind becomes sharper, decisions quicker, focus deeper. What felt impossible becomes clear, because the mind is operating at a higher level. Unlocking the gear demands patience. It does not reveal itself overnight. The process is gradual, requiring trials, failures, and persistence. Each attempt pulls you closer until suddenly the breakthrough arrives. Patience transforms frustration into discovery. The strategist understands that this hidden gear is infinite. Unlock one, and you will find another. Growth is not about reaching a final level. It is about continually discovering deeper reserves. Each limit broken reveals a new horizon. The hidden gear also reshapes identity. Once you realize you can go further than you believed, you begin to see yourself differently. You stop saying, "I can't," and start saying, "I haven't yet." This shift in self-perception is itself a form of power. Unlocking the gear also builds influence. When others see you pushing through barriers, they are inspired to search for their own. Your actions create a ripple effect, proving that strength is not rare, it is hidden in everyone, waiting to be trained. The greatest danger is settling for the surface. Many live their whole lives without ever pushing hard enough to unlock this gear. They confuse comfort with fulfillment and never taste the depth of their potential. The strategist refuses this fate. The lesson is simple yet profound. Within you lies a gear you have not yet touched. It will not reveal itself in ease, but in effort. Not in silence, but in struggle. Unlock it. and you discover that your true limits are far beyond what you ever believed. Comfort is the greatest seduction of the human mind. It promises safety, ease, and familiarity, but behind its mask lies stagnation. Growth does not live where everything is predictable. Growth lives on the edge of discomfort, in the territory most people fear to enter. The comfort zone is not evil, but it is limiting. It offers rest, not transformation. To grow, you must step past the soft walls of ease and walk into challenge. The strategist sees comfort as a temporary stop, never a permanent home. Fear often guards the border of comfort. When you feel resistance, hesitation, or doubt, that is a sign you are close to growth. Fear disguises opportunity. Those who run from it remain trapped. Those who face it break into new strength. Discomfort is a teacher. It sharpens awareness, strengthens discipline, and builds resilience. The lessons you need most are rarely found in moments of ease. They are written in sweat, mistakes, and persistence when you feel like giving up. The body knows this truth. Muscles grow only when stretched beyond what they're used to. The same applies to the mind and spirit. Challenge tears down old patterns so that stronger ones can take their place. Without strain, there is no strength. The strategist deliberately seeks challenge, while others avoid difficulty. They embrace it. They understand that every struggle faced today becomes preparation for tomorrow. By leaning into discomfort, they build armor against uncertainty. Growth demands sacrifice. To leave comfort, you must give up immediate ease for future strength. This is why so few grow. They cling to what feels good now and forfeit what could be powerful later. The strategist chooses long-term gain over short-term relief. Discomfort also reveals identity. You do not know your true self when life is easy. Only when tested do you discover who you really are, what you value, what you can endure, what you can achieve. Challenge strips away illusions and leaves truth. The greatest breakthroughs come just beyond comfort. Many stop too soon, retreating at the first sign of pain. But if they had endured a little longer, they would have reached transformation. Growth often waits only one step beyond quitting. Comfort convinces you that risk is dangerous, but the greater danger is staying still. Time moves regardless. If you remain in comfort, the world outpaces you to grow. You must move at the edge, where risks exist but rewards multiply. The strategist uses discomfort as fuel. Instead of complaining, they lean into the unease, knowing it is proof of progress. Discomfort becomes a compass, pointing toward growth. If it feels hard, it is likely the right direction. Comfort limits vision. When life is too easy, you stop imagining bigger possibilities. Growth reawakens imagination. Struggle forces you to think creatively, to solve problems, to stretch your perspective. Innovation is born in difficulty, not ease. Comfort is addictive because it feels safe. But safety is often an illusion. Comfort zones collapse when life changes suddenly, leaving the unprepared broken. The strategist trains in discomfort so that when storms come, they are not destroyed. Every act of growth feels uncomfortable at first. Starting a new habit, speaking up, facing fear. It all feels unnatural, but repetition transforms discomfort into familiarity. What was once terrifying becomes routine, and the cycle of growth continues. Discomfort humbles you. It reminds you that you are not yet complete, that you still have more to learn. This humility fuels continuous growth. Those who cling to comfort assume they know enough, but humility keeps the strategist open. Comfort dulls urgency. It makes you believe you have infinite time to improve. Discomfort awakens urgency. It tells you that change is needed now. Growth thrives in this awareness. in the recognition that waiting is wasting. Stepping out of comfort strengthens confidence. Each challenge faced builds proof that you are capable. Confidence is not built by staying safe. It is built by risking, failing, and realizing you can rise again. The strategist uses discomfort as transformation, not torture. They do not seek pain for its own sake, but for the power it produces. Pain without purpose is suffering. Pain with purpose is growth. Growth thrives where habits are broken. Comfort lives in routine, in doing the same things over and over. Breaking patterns forces new pathways in the brain, new resilience in the body, and new courage in the spirit. Change begins at the edge. Discomfort also deepens gratitude. When you fight through difficulty, you appreciate ease more. Comfort loses its sweetness when it is constant, but after struggle, even small victories taste like triumph. Gratitude grows where challenge exists. Comfort makes you forget potential. You settle for less because it feels good enough. Discomfort reminds you there is more. It keeps you hungry, restless, and moving forward. The strategist never lets comfort erase ambition. Growth is never given. It is earned. The price is discomfort, and the reward is transformation. Those unwilling to pay remain as they are. Those who embrace the cost discover new strength. The strategist reframes discomfort as a gift. While others curse hardship, they see it as opportunity in disguise. Every hard thing becomes a step toward mastery. Every struggle a sharpening stone. Perspective transforms pain into purpose. Comfort may protect you, but it will never grow you. Growth begins only when you step past ease into the uncertainty and challenge where transformation lives. The mind that dares to walk beyond comfort discovers strength, resilience, and freedom. This is the soil where greatness is planted. To grow, you must go where comfort ends and where your true self finally begins. Resilience is not a gift. It is forged. Just as metal hardens in fire, the mind strengthens under strain. The strategist understands that resilience is not built in ease, but in challenge, where pressure and struggle mold you into something unbreakable. Every hardship is a flame in the forge. Disappointments, failures, and setbacks all apply heat to the mind. While many melt under this heat, the strategist endures, knowing that fire is not there to destroy, it is there to strengthen. Resilience grows with resistance. Just as muscles expand when they meet weight, the mind expands when it meets obstacles. Avoiding hardship weakens the spirit. Facing it builds inner armor. Resistance is not the enemy, it is the teacher. The forge of resilience is built in small acts. Choosing discipline when it's hard. Staying calm under pressure, rising after mistakes. These daily sparks slowly shape steel within. Great resilience is simply many small victories stacked together. Pain is an essential hammer in this forge. It shapes, strikes, and refines. Instead of seeing pain as punishment, the strategist accepts it as the sculptor of strength. Without the hammer's blows, the metal remains soft and fragile. Resilience also demands patience. Forging is not instant. It takes time. Each trial adds another layer. Each hardship another mark. Over time, what was once brittle becomes durable, capable of withstanding storms others cannot. The strategist knows resilience is not toughness alone. It is flexibility. Metal that is too rigid shatters. The mind that refuses to bend breaks. True resilience blends strength with adaptability, enduring without becoming brittle. Resilience is tested most in silence. Not every battle is loud. Many are fought alone, in moments of doubt. The strategist learns to endure these quiet trials, understanding that inner strength is proven when no one is watching. Failure is fuel in this forge. Each mistake becomes raw material for growth. While others fear failure, the strategist collects it, melts it down, and reforges it into lessons. Failure is not the end, it is the fire that continues shaping. Resilience is built by repetition. One challenge overcome does not make you strong forever. Like training, it requires continual effort, facing new struggles, and proving again and again that you can endure. Strength grows only if maintained. Discomfort is the mold that gives resilience its form. Without stepping into the uncomfortable, the forge has nothing to shape. The strategist deliberately enters discomfort, not out of cruelty, but out of the desire to become more than they were. The mind must be tempered. Just as forged steel is cooled and reheated to increase durability, the strategist alternates between struggle and recovery. Balance prevents burnout, ensuring resilience is sustainable rather than fleeting. Resilience sharpens clarity. In the middle of pressure, distractions vanish. The strategist learns to focus only on what matters most. This clarity becomes a tool, allowing them to move forward even when the world is chaotic. Endurance is the mark of the forged mind. Many can start, but few can last. Resilience gives the strategist the ability to continue when energy is gone, when doubt is loud, when the path is dark. Endurance outlasts talent. Resilience also creates confidence. Each hardship survived becomes proof of strength. With every scar, belief grows. This belief is not arrogance, but evidence that you have endured and can endure again. The forge of resilience reveals identity. You discover who you are, not in comfort, but in challenge. Struggle strips away false images and reveals the core of your character. The strategist emerges from fire with clarity of self. Resilience spreads influence. Others are drawn to those who endure. People trust leaders who stay steady under pressure. By displaying resilience, the strategist not only survives but inspires, becoming a source of strength for those around them. The forge also teaches humility. No matter how strong, everyone bends under heat at times. This humility prevents arrogance, reminding the strategist that growth is never finished. The strongest minds are those still willing to be shaped. Resilience is reinforced through purpose. Without a reason to endure, the fire feels unbearable. Purpose fuels persistence, giving meaning to suffering and direction to endurance. A strong why keeps the strategist in the forge until transformation is complete. Forged resilience is not loud. It is quiet. It does not boast. It simply stands. In storms, the resilient mind does not collapse or panic. It holds steady, proving its strength through calmness rather than noise. The strategist recognizes that resilience is not about avoiding damage but recovering from it. Like metal that bends and returns to shape, resilience is the ability to heal, rebuild, and continue. Recovery is as important as endurance. The forge also removes weakness. Just as impurities are burned from steel, repeated trials burn away excuses, doubts, and fears. What remains is a cleaner, stronger mind, capable of facing the future without being weighed down by the past. Resilience creates freedom. When you know you can endure, fear loses its grip. Obstacles no longer intimidate you. The strategist walks forward boldly because they trust in their ability to withstand whatever comes. The mental forge of resilience is not a place you visit once. It is a lifelong process. Life will continue to heat, strike, and shape you. Each trial is another moment in the forge, another chance to become unbreakable. Resilience is not born. It is made. It is shaped in fire, tested in silence, proven in storms. The strategist who embraces this forge discovers a mind no obstacle can destroy, a spirit no hardship can bend. The word impossible is one of the greatest lies ever told to the human mind. It is not a boundary of reality, but a limitation of belief. Those who accept it surrender before they even begin. Those who challenge it discover that impossible is only a myth waiting to be broken. Impossible is often a mask for fear. When people say something cannot be done, what they often mean is, "I am afraid to try." The strategist sees through this disguise, refusing to accept fear as a final verdict. Fear loses its power when named for what it is. History is filled with shattered impossibilities. Flight, electricity, exploration of space, all once mocked as dreams too far. Yet visionaries broke through doubt, proving that impossible is simply a word used until someone dares enough to act. The myth of impossible survives because people mistake difficulty for finality. Hard does not mean impossible. It simply means unexplored. The strategist embraces difficulty, knowing that challenge is proof of potential, not the end of the road. Impossible thrives in small thinking. When you limit imagination, you create false walls. The strategist enlarges vision, daring to see beyond the accepted boundaries. By widening perspective, the myth of impossible begins to crack. The myth also survives through inherited beliefs. Families, cultures, and systems hand down what they call limits. The strategist refuses to inherit chains. They test those limits, breaking through outdated boundaries to create new possibilities. Impossible loses ground when met with persistence. The strategist does not quit after failure, but returns again and again until progress emerges. Each attempt chips away at the myth, proving that persistence is stronger than resistance. Failure itself proves possibility. If you can fail, it means action was taken, and if action was taken, results can be shifted. Each failure is not proof of impossibility, but evidence that a new approach is needed. Failure is the rehearsal of success. The myth of impossible is also fueled by comparison. Looking at others' limits convinces people that they share the same ones. But the strategist knows every path is unique. What is impossible for one may be simple for another. Impossibility shrinks when courage expands. The moment you step forward, despite fear, the boundary weakens. Courage is the hammer that cracks the walls of doubt, exposing possibility hidden behind them. The strategist also redefines time. Many things seem impossible, only because they require more patience than most are willing to give. With enough time, mountains erode and rivers carve stone. Persistence transforms impossibility into inevitability. Impossible often exists only in language. Words can imprison thought. When you label something impossible, your brain stops searching for solutions. By removing the word, you reopen the mind's creativity. Language shapes possibility. The myth collapses in the face of evidence. Once someone achieves what was deemed impossible, the world quickly accepts it. The strategist aims to be that someone, the one who shifts belief, not just for themselves, but for all who watch. Impossible is broken by imagination, married to action. Dreaming alone is not enough, but neither is labor without vision. When vision fuels action, new realities are born. The strategist unites both to break barriers. The myth of impossible thrives on comfort. People claim something can't be done so they can avoid the discomfort of trying. The strategist rejects this excuse. Growth always feels impossible until you lean into discomfort and prove otherwise. Impossible collapses under innovation, new tools, new methods, new thinking. Each invention pushes the boundaries further. The strategist cultivates creativity, knowing that the right idea can dissolve what once looked unmovable. The myth also relies on silence. If no one challenges it, it remains unquestioned. The strategist speaks against it, acts against it, and lives against it. By refusing silence, they inspire others to see beyond limits. Impossible is shattered by resilience. Obstacles may resist at first, but endurance outlasts resistance. The strategist refuses to surrender, proving that time itself bends to those who will not quit. The mind is the battlefield of impossible. If you believe you cannot, you won't even try. If you believe you might, doors open. The strategist trains their mind first, because once thought accepts possibility, the body follows. Impossible often appears in the unknown. People fear what they cannot measure. The strategist explores the unknown, embracing uncertainty. By venturing into mystery, they uncover realities hidden from the timid. Breaking impossible inspires others. Each personal victory becomes proof that barriers can fall. The strategist's triumphs ripple outward, encouraging others to question their own limits and expand their horizons. Impossible disappears when framed differently. Instead of saying, "It can't be done," the strategist asks, "How can it be done?" That shift turns finality into curiosity, and curiosity always finds openings where walls once stood. The myth is broken by those who combine patience, courage, creativity, and persistence. No single quality is enough, but together they form the chisel that cracks through impossibility. Strategy is not one step, it is many strikes. Impossible is a temporary word. It survives only until someone proves it false. Every generation redefines what can be done. The strategist knows that their task is to keep pushing the line further. The impossible was never real. It was only a story told to keep minds small. Once you choose to question, act, and persist, you discover that impossible is nothing more than an illusion waiting to be shattered. Destiny is not written in stars, it is shaped in habits. Every action repeated, every decision, honored or broken, becomes a thread weaving the fabric of your future. Discipline is the loom that controls the pattern. Without it, destiny is left to chance. Discipline begins with choice. It is not a natural gift, but a decision made each day. The disciplined mind refuses to surrender to impulses, choosing instead the harder road that leads to strength. Choice, repeated enough, becomes character. Impulse is the greatest enemy of destiny. Left unchecked, it drives you toward comfort and away from growth. Discipline is the shield against impulse, protecting your future from being stolen by momentary desire. Discipline requires clarity. Without vision, discipline becomes drudgery. The strategist sees the future they want and disciplines themselves to act in alignment with it. Each sacrifice becomes meaningful because it serves a greater purpose. The disciplined mind embraces consistency. Greatness is not the product of one grand act, but of small, repeated steps. Like drops of water carving stone, consistent discipline shapes even the hardest obstacles into submission. Discipline rewires thought itself. Each time you refuse distraction and choose focus, you train your brain to value persistence over escape. Slowly, the neural pathways of weakness are replaced by the architecture of strength. Comfort resists discipline. It whispers that today can be wasted because tomorrow will be enough. But tomorrow never comes for the undisciplined. The strategist silences this voice, acting today as though no second chance will arrive. Discipline also trains resilience. It is not just about doing the work when it's easy, but staying the course when it's brutal. The disciplined do not collapse under hardship. They bend, adapt, and keep moving forward. Time respects discipline. The undisciplined waste it and regret its passing, but the disciplined harness it, making each hour an investment. Over years, this investment compounds into destiny. Discipline rewires not only your future, but your identity. When you act consistently, you begin to see yourself differently. You are no longer someone who tries, but someone who does. Identity shapes destiny. Sacrifice is the price of discipline. You cannot have everything. To build strength, you must surrender ease. To achieve greatness, you must surrender distractions. Every sacrifice buys a piece of your future. The disciplined mind sees beyond moods, while others wait to feel like it. Discipline acts regardless of emotion. Feelings fluctuate. Destiny does not. The strategist acts not from mood, but from commitment. Discipline also sharpens focus. By saying no to distractions, you preserve energy for what matters. A scattered life produces nothing great. Discipline gathers scattered energy into a beam that cuts through obstacles. The forge of discipline is built daily. Missed once, it weakens. Honored consistently, it strengthens. Each act of discipline is another strike of the hammer, shaping destiny. Discipline requires patience. Results rarely appear immediately. The undisciplined quit in frustration. The disciplined trust the process. Patience ensures that long-term vision survives short-term hardship. Discipline rewires destiny by creating habits that work even without willpower. When actions become automatic, destiny accelerates. The disciplined mind no longer negotiates with itself. It simply acts. Excuses die in discipline. While the undisciplined rationalize failure, the disciplined take ownership. Responsibility turns setbacks into lessons, while excuses lock destiny in chains. Discipline teaches humility. To repeat small acts daily requires surrendering arrogance. The strategist embraces repetition, knowing that mastery is born not in shortcuts, but in disciplined practice. The disciplined life inspires others. When people see consistency, they trust it. Influence grows not from speeches, but from the quiet reliability of discipline lived. Your destiny shapes not just you, but those around you. Discipline reveals hidden strength. Each act proves you can endure more than you thought. Slowly, impossibilities crumble and destiny expands to include what once seemed unreachable. The undisciplined chase motivation. The disciplined cultivate systems. Systems protect destiny from chaos. The strategist builds routines that carry them forward even on bad days. Systems are discipline automated. Discipline protects dreams. Without it, dreams remain fantasies, lost in distraction. With it, dreams solidify into plans and then into reality. Discipline is the bridge from vision to manifestation. The disciplined mind reframes difficulty as progress. While others complain, they see hardship as proof they are moving forward. This mindset rewires destiny because it keeps action alive when others give up. Destiny bends to the disciplined. Each choice repeated, each sacrifice embraced, each distraction refused, builds a future shaped with intention. The strategist knows discipline is not punishment, it is freedom, the power to write destiny instead of waiting for it to be written. Struggle is not a curse. It is the soil in which strength grows. Without resistance, no muscle forms, no mind sharpens, no spirit deepens. The strategist sees struggle not as punishment, but as opportunity, an invitation to become stronger than before. Life's greatest lessons are carved in hardship. Struggle forces you to confront weakness, expose blind spots, and dig deeper than you thought possible. It strips away illusion and reveals both your flaws and your potential. Strength lives in that exposure. When the path is smooth, growth is shallow. Struggle adds weight to the journey, and in carrying it, you develop endurance. Endurance becomes the foundation of lasting strength, the kind that does not collapse under pressure. Struggle builds resilience by teaching you to rise after falling. Each failure is another chance to practice recovery. The strategist understands that falling is not weakness, refusing to rise is. Each rise adds another layer of steel to the mind. The mind grows sharper in struggle. Comfort dulls attention, but difficulty demands focus. When stakes are high, you are forced to concentrate, adapt, and innovate. Struggle polishes clarity, turning distraction into precision. Struggle also breeds humility. It reminds you that you are not invincible, that effort is required. This humility prevents arrogance, keeping you open to learning. Without humility, growth stalls. With it, struggle becomes a mentor. Strength is not the absence of pain, but the ability to continue through it. Struggle conditions the mind to endure discomfort without surrender. In facing storms, you learn that pain can be carried without breaking. Struggle reveals character. Easy times hide true nature. Difficulty exposes it. Do you quit or persist? Do you complain or adapt? Strength emerges from the choices you make in these defining moments. Discipline and struggle are inseparable. Without struggle, discipline has no battlefield. Each act of persistence in struggle cements discipline deeper, creating a bond between endurance and strength that cannot be broken. Struggle transforms perspective. What once seemed unbearable becomes manageable. Tasks that frightened you before appear small after you've endured worse. Each challenge conquered lowers fear of the next. Struggle uncovers hidden capacity. You never know how far you can go until you are forced to go further. Strength lies not in what you already can do, but in what struggle pulls out of you under pressure. The strategist seeks lessons in every hardship. While others ask, "Why me?" the strategist asks, "What can I learn?" That question rewires the mind, turning every obstacle into a stepping stone toward greater strength. Struggle sharpens gratitude. After enduring difficulty, small victories feel sweeter. Comfort regains meaning only when contrasted with hardship. Gratitude born in struggle is deeper, more lasting, and more real. Strength also lies in patience. Struggle often lasts longer than you want it to. Learning to endure without rushing builds a steady kind of power, the ability to wait without breaking, to persist without losing hope. Struggle makes victories meaningful. Achievements without effort feel hollow. But when blood, sweat, and perseverance fuel success, triumph carries weight. The strength you find in struggle makes success truly yours. Struggle awakens creativity. Obstacles force you to think differently, to innovate where old methods fail. This creativity becomes a form of strength, giving you the ability to solve problems others cannot. The strategist knows that struggle does not end. It evolves. Each level of growth brings new difficulties. Strength is not built once, but continually reforged. Each struggle another chapter in an endless training ground. Struggle also teaches compassion. Having endured hardship, you understand the pain of others. This empathy deepens your humanity and builds a different kind of strength, the power to connect, to support, to uplift. Strength found in struggle is not loud. It does not need to boast. It shows itself in calmness under pressure, in quiet persistence, in the steady confidence of someone who has endured storms and survived. Struggle strips away excuses. You cannot hide behind comfort when hardship arrives. You either face it or fall. By facing it, you learn responsibility, and responsibility is one of the greatest forms of strength. Every struggle prepares you for the next. Endurance compounds like interest. What breaks others no longer shakes you because you have been there before. Struggle becomes training for battles yet unseen. Strength also emerges in vulnerability. Admitting struggle does not weaken you. It allows you to grow honestly. Pretending everything is easy prevents growth. Owning struggle, however, gives you the courage to push forward. The strategist reframes struggle as a path, not a barrier. While others see endings, they see beginnings. While others resist, they lean in. This perspective ensures strength grows in every hardship. Struggle teaches one final truth. Strength is not given, it is earned. No one can hand it to you. No shortcut can replace it. It must be lived, endured, and built. And once built, it cannot be taken away. Thus, strength is born not in the easy days, but in the hard ones. The mind forged in struggle becomes unbreakable. The spirit tempered by challenge becomes unshakable. Where struggle exists, so does the opportunity for greatness. Doubt is the quiet saboteur that lives in every mind. It speaks in whispers, convincing you that you are not ready, not capable, not enough. The strategist learns to recognize this voice, not as truth, but as noise. Rising above doubt begins with naming it for what it is, fear disguised as reason. The voice of doubt grows loudest at the edge of opportunity. Just before a breakthrough, it questions whether you can handle it. The strategist knows this is not coincidence. It is resistance, a sign that growth is near. Doubt always shouts when change is close. Doubt thrives in uncertainty. When the path ahead is unclear, the mind fills gaps with fear. The strategist refuses to be ruled by the unknown. They step forward anyway, proving through action that clarity comes from movement, not hesitation. Comparison feeds doubt. Looking at others' progress convinces you that you are behind. But the strategist remembers each path is unique, each timeline personal. Comparing journeys is like comparing mountains. Their heights mean nothing unless you climb your own. The voice of doubt often wears the mask of logic. It tells you, be realistic, play safe, wait longer. But safety is often stagnation. Logic that prevents growth is not wisdom. It is a prison. The strategist listens, but does not obey. Doubt weakens when faced with evidence. Each time you act despite fear, you create proof of your capability. The strategist collects these proofs, like weapons, using them to silence doubt when it tries to rise again. Silence does not defeat doubt. Action does. Waiting for confidence is a trap. Confidence comes only from doing. The strategist moves while afraid, and in motion they rise above the voice that once held them back. Doubt repeats the past, reminding you of failures. But failure is not prophecy. The strategist rewrites the story, seeing failure as training, not destiny. Each attempt is another rehearsal for success. Rising above doubt requires clarity of purpose. When your why is strong, doubt loses its grip. Purpose anchors you in storms, reminding you that the voice of hesitation is small compared to the weight of your vision. Doubt grows in isolation. Left alone, its whispers echo louder. But when you surround yourself with mentors, allies, and examples, their belief drowns out fear. Community is armor against the voice of doubt. The strategist recognizes that doubt will never vanish. It will always whisper, always question, but strength is not found in eliminating it. It is found in rising anyway. Courage is not silence of fear, but mastery of it. Preparation weakens doubt. When you train, study, and practice, the voice of doubt loses credibility. You know you are ready because you've done the work. The strategist arms themselves with preparation so that doubt has no ground to stand on. Doubt shrinks under gratitude. When you focus on what you already have, what you've already achieved, you remember your strength. Gratitude builds confidence, proving that you've overcome before and can again. The voice of doubt thrives in perfectionism. It says, if it's not perfect, it's worthless. The strategist rejects this illusion, knowing that progress is born in imperfection. Starting badly is better than never starting at all. Momentum is the enemy of doubt. The more you move, the quieter it becomes. Action turns whispers into static, until eventually the voice fades behind the roar of progress. Doubt also disguises itself as protection. It tells you not to risk, not to fail, to stay safe. But protection without growth is a cage. The strategist chooses freedom, knowing risk is the price of possibility. The strategist reframes doubt as a signpost. When it whispers loudest, it signals the very place where courage is required. Doubt points not to retreat, but to the exact direction of growth. Rising above doubt demands inner dialogue. Instead of surrendering to the voice, the strategist speaks back. They replace lies with truth, fear with affirmation, hesitation with action. The battle is won in words as well as deeds. Discipline outlasts doubt. On days when belief is weak, discipline carries you, routine becomes proof that progress continues even when confidence falters. The strategist relies on structure when the mind is shaken. Doubt is weakened by visualization. When you picture yourself succeeding, the brain rehearses victory. Each mental rehearsal creates familiarity, making the once impossible feel achievable. Imagination rewires belief. The strategist transforms doubt into drive. Instead of seeing it as an obstacle, they use it as fuel. If doubt says, "I can't," I will prove that I can. This reversal turns weakness into motivation. Rising above doubt requires resilience. The voice will return again and again, but each time you rise, you grow stronger. Doubt may persist, but your strength compounds until its whispers are drowned in the echo of your victories. The strategist accepts that doubt is universal. Everyone hears it. The difference is in response. Those who believe it stay small. Those who rise above it expand into possibility. The choice is always yours. Doubt is not an enemy to be feared, but a challenge to be mastered. It reminds you that you are near something worth pursuing. The strategist hears the voice, smiles, and keeps walking forward, because destiny belongs to those who act despite doubt. Focus is the silent weapon of greatness. While talent and effort matter, they scatter without direction. Relentless focus gathers energy into a sharp blade, cutting through distractions and carving pathways to achievement that scattered minds never see. The world thrives on distraction. Notifications, noise, and endless options pull attention in 1,000 directions. The strategist resists this storm. They anchor themselves in focus, creating stillness in chaos. It is in this stillness that power gathers. Focus is not simply attention. It is discipline in where you place it. The mind cannot control everything, but it can control what it chooses to pursue. Relentless focus is the choice to aim at one target until it breaks open. When focus deepens, time bends. Hours feel like minutes, and productivity multiplies. The strategist calls this state flow, where the world disappears and the mind merges with the task. In this state, ordinary effort transforms into extraordinary output. Relentless focus requires sacrifice. You cannot chase every opportunity and expect depth. The strategist understands that to master one thing, they must let go of many. Focus is sharpened by saying no. Focus thrives on clarity. Without knowing your goal, focus has no direction. The strategist sets clear aims, ensuring their focus has a destination. A blurred goal scatters effort. A sharp goal magnifies it. Distractions test focus. Each temptation to drift is a battle for attention. The strategist builds resilience by refusing to indulge, strengthening concentration, like a muscle. With each resistance, focus grows harder to break. Relentless focus exposes hidden depth. The longer you stay on one pursuit, the more layers unfold. Most quit before depth reveals itself. The strategist endures, discovering insights and strength invisible to those who scatter. Focus also builds momentum. Each day spent on a single path compounds into progress. Momentum then becomes its own force, pulling you forward with less effort. The unseen power of focus is in this compounding effect. A focused mind sees opportunities others miss. While the distracted skim the surface, the focused observe details, patterns, and hidden doors. This vision becomes an advantage, opening possibilities invisible to scattered eyes. Focus amplifies skill. Practice scattered across many tasks remains shallow, but relentless focus transforms repetition into mastery. The strategist knows that the secret to greatness is not in dabbling, but in drilling. Focus creates confidence. When you know you've poured deep attention into your craft, you trust your ability. Confidence is not arrogance. It is proof built in hours of concentrated effort. Relentless focus is also a shield. It protects the mind from negativity and fear by narrowing vision to what matters. Instead of drowning in doubts, the strategist locks attention on solutions, leaving no room for paralysis. The unseen power of focus reveals itself in crises. While others panic and scatter, the focused remain calm, directing energy into decisive action. In chaos, focus becomes leadership. Focus requires patience. In a world addicted to speed, staying committed long enough to see results feels rare, but the strategist trusts time. They know that focus given daily eventually bends the future. Focus is also contagious. When people see someone deeply committed, they are drawn in. A focused leader inspires focus in others, transforming teams and movements. Energy aligned becomes unstoppable. Relentless focus demands boundaries. You must guard your mind like treasure, refusing to give it to every demand. The strategist sets walls against distraction, knowing that attention is the most valuable currency. Focus is forged in practice. Meditation, writing, deep work, all are ways to Tara. Your mind is not a passenger. It is the driver of everything you will ever achieve. The limits you once believed in were never real, only walls drawn by fear and routine. Now you know that with discipline, focus, and vision, those walls collapse into stepping stones. Every challenge you face is a chance to prove that growth lives in difficulty. Take these ideas and put them into action, not tomorrow, but today. Because the impossible doesn't vanish on its own. It disappears the moment you decide to outgrow it.